charana dhori. Chaya vegadomi, chaya dosa shodhi, chaya guna devo dase.
Chaya vegadomi, chaya dosa shodhi, chaya guna devo dase.
Chaya satsanga deho hai amare, boshati sange ashe.
Chaya
Satsanga deho hai amare, boshati sange ashe. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala, harinama sankirtane. Ekaki amara
nahi paya bala, harinama sankirtane.
tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya, deho Krishna namadhane. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya,
Deho Krishna namadhane.
tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya, deho Krishna namadhane.
Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya, deho Krishna namadhane.
Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite para, tomara shakti ache.
Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakti ache.
Ami to Ganga, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. Ami to Ganga, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. Ami to Ganga, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache.
Ami to Ganga, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakura, Daya Rasagara, Edase Karuna Kori.
Ove Vaishnava Thakura, Daya Rasagara, Vedasi Karuna Kori.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakura, Daya Rasagara, Edase Karuna Kori.
Ove Vaishnava Thakura, Daya Rasagara,
Edase Karuna Kori. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam
मनमानस मधुकरमर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमकरन्दे मनमानस मधुकर अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमकरन्दे मनमानस मधुकर अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमकरन्दे मनमानस मधुकर अर्पय निजपद पङ्कजमकरन्दे यदपि समाधिषु विधिरपि पश्यति न तव नखग्रमरिचिम्
यदपि समाधिषु विधिरपि पश्यति न तव नखग्रमरिचिम्
इदमिच्छाम्यनिशाम्य तवाच्युत तदपि कृपाद्भुतमीचिम् इदमिच्छामि निशाम्य तवाच्युत तदपि कृपाद्भुतमीचिम् कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे भक्तिरुदाञ्चति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि मम तिलमात्री
भक्तिरुदाञ्चति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि मम तिलमात्री
परमेश्वरत तदपि तवाधिक दुर्घटघटनविधात्री परमेश्वरत तदपि तवाधिक दुर्घटघटनविधात्री कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे अयमविलोलतयाद्य सनातन कलिताद्भुतरसभारम् अयमविलोलतयाद्य सनातन कलिताद्भुतरसभारम् अयमविलोलतयाद्य सनातन कलिताद्भुतरसभारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दति विन्दान्मधुरिमसारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दति विन्दान्मधुरिमसारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दति विन्दान्मधुरिमसारम् विन्दान्मधुरिमसारम् कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे मनमानस मधुकर Parama Karuna Pahudue Jana Nitai Gora Chandra
Parama Karuna Pahudujana Nitai Gaura
Savayavatar Sarashiromani Kevalayananda Kanda Savayavatar Sarashiromani Kevalayananda Kanda Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrida Vishwasa Kori Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrida Vishwasa Kori Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Muke Bolo Hari Hari Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majiya Muke Bolo Hari Hari देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवने नाय एमना दयाल दाता देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवने नाय एमना दयाल दाता पशु फाकी झुरे पशुना वितारे सुनिहार गुणगाता पशु फाकी झुरे पशु पाखी झुरे पशुना वितारे सुनिहार गुणगाता पशुना वितारे सुनिहार गुणगाता संसारे माजिया रोगिली पोरिया से पदे नाही लो आशा संसारे माजिया रोगिली पोरिया से पदे नाही लो आशा आपना करमा भुजय समान कहे लोचना दास आपना करमा भुजय समान कहे लोचना दास Lochana Dasa ki jai, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki jai. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Paye Chekeva. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Paye Chekeva. Namashteshtum Manamapi Sachiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Grajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. He Guru Gyananda Dina Bandhu Swananda Data Karunaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sina Hitavatara Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachara. He Dina Bandhu Karunaika Sindhu Guru Prasadam Naimanda Mudhe Laksha Paradhe Bahupapa Gadhe Tadpada Padme Stumatishcha Krishna Yadyapiyam Guru Chaitanya Radas Tatapi Janiyami Tahara Prakash Guru Krishna Rupahana Shastrera Pramane Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karana Bhaktagane Shiksha Guru Keta Jani Krishna Rasvarupa Antaryami Bhakta Shrishta Edui Rupa Pantyal Pachatim Kavayashtatevesha Brahmayusha Pikritam Ridha Mudha Smarantaha Yontar Bahistanubritam Ashubham Vidhunvam Acharya Chaitya Vapusha Swagatim Vyanakti. Without serving the representative of Krishna, nobody can approach Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachimata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami and his older brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radha Kund and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore grace me with your mercy, so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord, of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is none different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as the relationship with the Supreme Lord. Spiritual masters always represent themselves as the humblest servitors of the personality of Godhead, but the disciple must look upon the spiritual master as the manifested representation of Godhead. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the supersoul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Srila Madan Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is a personal representative of Srila Govindadev Vigraha. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our heart with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagavati Sadma.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagavati Sadma.
Bandha Mui Savadhana Mate. Yahara prasade bhai, he bhavaturiyaya. Krishna prati hoya haite. Krishna prati hoya haite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittate Koriya Aikya. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda
Shri
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरभक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरभक्ति की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, जय श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय, श्री अयोध्या धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की, गंगा माई यमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की, कामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की मुक्त डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, और ग्लोरीज असेंबल हरे कृष्ण, और ग्लोरीज असेंबल हरे कृष्ण, और ग्लोरीज असेंबल और ग्लोरीज श्री गुरु एंड ऑल Hare Krishna, welcome everybody to the Saturday morning Bhagavatam class. We'll start with a song, small bhajan, and then we'll go to this one. Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming again. So today we will discuss about Prithu Maharaj. How many of you know about Prithu Maharaj or heard about Prithu Maharaj? Okay, so we'll go over the basics also. So before that, it comes in the 4th canto, middle section. So before we go there, we'll do the Mangalacharan prayers. Are the full prayers? Full prayers, Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadhati Shva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padhambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaaya te namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripaha sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadhanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namine gauratishe namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam bhaktarupa swarupakam bhaktavataram bhaktakyam namami bhakta shaktikam. He Krishna karuna sindhu dina bandhu jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namosute. Jayatam surato pangor mama manda mater gati matsarva sapadam bhojo radha madana mohano divyad vrindaranya kalpadrumado Shrimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalabhihi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasaramvi Vamshi Vatha Tatastitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Trindaya Tulasi Devyayai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavathaya Namo Namaha. Shri Narsingha Jai Narsimha Jai Jai Narsingha Dev Prahladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Vringa. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. One second. Okay. So again, once again, so Shri Radha Madan Mohan Mahaprabhu Lakshmi Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai. So as I said, we'll discuss a little bit about Prithu Maharaj. So Prithu Maharaj comes in the 4th canto from chapters around 13 to 23. He is described in this pastimes when Maitreya Muni asks about the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. So how many of you know about Dhruva Maharaj? Dhruva Maharaj, you know, everybody knows Dhruva Maharaj, right? He is the great grandson of Brahma, right? So Brahma's son is Swayambha Manu. Swayambha Manu's son is Uttanapad. Uttanapad's son is Dhruva, right? So we know about Dhruva's story. And in the lineage of Dhruva comes Prithu Maharaj. So Prithu Maharaj's father was King Vena. King Vena was a very, very cruel king. So how many of you know about a cruel person born in a saintly family? Can you give an example? You have mic? Okay, we can talk. That we know a lot of examples. Right, so if you take from Mahabharata, right, technically speaking, Duryodhana is, if you look at the Kurus, they are like very pious, like Bhishma and all those people are very, Bharat Maharaj and all pious, but Duryodhana was a very, very evil person born in that family. Now if you go to, in Bhagavatam, stories of Krishna, you will find Narakasura, who is son of Krishna himself, born to Bhumi Devi, but is a very cruel king, right? And you will find various other examples like Virochana. He's not very cruel, but son of Prahlad Maharaj, but he was not a devotee. Whereas Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana, is again a devotee again. Jai Jai Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. So we have a lot of examples like that. So the father of Vena, King Anga, was a very pious king, and he didn't have any sons. So he prayed a lot, he did some yagnas, even pleased Lord Vishnu. But his wife, Sunita, was the son of, she's a daughter of Mrityu. So that because of that, some part of irreligion is in her. And King Vena, he could have picked up the pious or impious, and he basically picked up an impious part, and he became a very, very cruel king. And he was basically, when he was ruling, he was all the people were terrified of him, right? So at that point in time, the sages, they cursed King Vena and killed him, right? I mean, like, so that, I mean, it's like the sages were supposed to be the protector of the, I mean, they are supposed to give like instructions to the king. And because they found that the king is not pious, they basically killed him. And because of that, there was no king in the kingdom, and the rogues and thieves were plundering all over the place. So now the sages decided that, no, we have to rectify the situation. So what they did is, they decided to produce an offspring out of King Vena's body. Now he is dead, and he didn't have any kids, children, right? So what they did is, they used like a specific process called as churning of the body, and then they created offsprings out of that. The first thing they did when they churned the legs, basically a very black and a dwarf type person came, and that person was basically all the impurities in the body of, or the qualities of King Vena came into that child, and then they named it Nishada. So the Nishada race technically comes from that, and they are considered to be thieves and plunderers, and they stay in jungles, etc. Right? So once all the impurities were removed, then the sages basically churned the hands or the arms of King Vena, and out of that, 2 children came. Now, before we go there, can you name 2 other pastimes in Bhagavatam where the churning is done? Churning of the milk ocean and churning of milk, or churning of yogurt, milk to grilled butter, right? So that 3 churning pastimes that I know of from Bhagavatam, right? So this churning created 2 arms. Have you ever heard of any scientific, in this modern science, that people churn the arms or legs and kids were born? Now we have test tube baby and all those things, we have IVF and all those things, but nowhere it's like you churn the body and some offspring come. So this is basically the Vedic wisdom. The Vedic mantras are there, and we cannot understand by our modern scientific principles, right? So two people came out of that. One was a boy who was a partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and a girl who was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi Devi. So the boy's name was named as Prithu, and the girl was named Archi, right? And so this is Maharaj Prithu. And basically when they were born, I mean, technically it's not mentioned that they were born as a child and they grew. So it's assumed that when they came out, they came as adults, and the sages asked him to take over the kingdom, right? So as soon as he was born, basically they made him the king, and all the people, all the citizens started glorifying him. So when they what they did was, like, they started glorifying Prithu Maharaj, explaining his various qualities, how he is going to rule in the future, what is he going to do, etc. Like somebody comes and tells you, oh, you are great, you are going to do this in the future. What would be your reaction? Like somebody comes and tells, okay, you are in the next 5 years, you are going to do these activities. Some astrologer comes and tells you this, what will be your reaction actually? Anybody? Any thoughts? I mean, as a normal human being, what would you do? Huh? You might not believe it. Other things? So one thing is, you might not believe because you don't trust in astrology. The other thing could be that you could get proud, saying, oh wow, I'm going to do so many great things in the future, right? So that could happen, right? But Prithu Maharaj, what he did was that he said, it is good that you are all praising me, but I have not performed any of such activities yet. So I am not qualified for this glorification. So as soon as he came, basically he showed his humble attitude. Although he is a Shakti-Avish avatar, you know what is Shakti-Avish avatar, right? Technically he is a partial incarnation. He is empowered by the Lord to perform some activities. So he came with a specific purpose in mind. Okay, and we'll see what the purpose was. But when he came here, when they started glorification, he said that, okay, I am not qualified for this glorification because I have not performed any of these activities. So once I do this, then you glorify, it makes sense, but not now, right? So that was his mood, a mood of humility and humbleness, with which he basically, although as a king, he was going to be the ruler of the earth, planet, entire universe, still that was his humble mood, right? So that is something we can learn from him, right? So now they glorified him, okay, he became the king. So at that point in time, what was the problem now? As he said, what he explained earlier, there was a cruel king who was ruling the earth, and there was no pious activities. All the rogues and thieves were plundering everything. So his first purpose was to rectify all those things. So he has to become an iron fist ruler, right? He had to ensure that all these rogues and thieves are removed. Then the people started complaining, saying to him that we have shortage of grains and food, so everybody is starving. So people at that point in time became so thin, like it was like sort of end of Kali Yuga. If you read the 12th canto, it's mentioned that how Kali Yuga at the end would be like people will be starving, everybody will be very, very small, no food and everything. It was something like that, right? So now Prithu Maharaj got angry. Whom did he get angry at? Any guesses? Huh? No, it was not Kali Yuga at that time, still. It was Satya Yuga. So Prithu Maharaj got angry at Mother Earth. Why? Yeah. So what is the duty of Mother Earth? Yeah, one is to provide shelter to us, like because we are standing and walking on Mother Earth, so basically provide sort of shelter or ground for us. Second thing is all the food grains come from Earth, right? If there is no food grains coming from Earth, what will we eat, right? Somebody could say, oh, you can eat animals, but even animals need food grains to eat, right? So technically everything comes from Mother Earth. So now he was angry at Mother Earth and he decided to punish her. So he took his bow and with all this anger, he tried to destroy Mother Earth. Can you name any other example where any other supreme personality similarly got angry and tried to destroy somebody with a bow and arrow? Lord Ram, when? Yes. So when Lord Ram wanted to cross the ocean, what did he first do? He basically prayed to the ocean. We sat meditated above the ocean for 2 days. But the ocean was still agitated. And at that time he got angry and he took his bow and arrow and said that, okay, I'm going to now entirely dry this ocean and then we will cross over it, right? So similar mood was there. Prithu Maharaj became very angry and he said, I am going to destroy Mother Earth, punish Mother Earth because she is not bringing all the food grains for the people. At that time, Mother Earth took the form of a cow and started running away from him. So why did she take the form of mother cow?
Because everyone is respectful towards cows, especially in those days, and no one even thinks of killing a cow.
That's perfect. Yeah, perfectly correct. So a king is not supposed to kill a cow, right? If you look in today's world, cow slaughter is one of the biggest industry, right? Whether you go to India or any other country also, cow slaughter is very big. Even like if you go to holy places like Vrindavan or Mathura, all those places, even there people take away the cows, old cows, and try to kill them for their flesh or for their skin and etc., right? Because even like all the mridangas we get are made from cows, so some people just take it as a business. So it's very, very prominent in this era. But in that time, or even Dwapar Yuga, even a few years back, killing of cows was considered and 100% no, right? So she took the form of a cow because she knew that Prithu Maharaj will not kill her. Firstly, because it was a cow. Secondly, she is a woman. So in the Shastras, it's mentioned that one should not kill a woman, a child, an old person, a person who is handicapped, etc. Right? The king should not punish or Brahmana. They should not kill them. So she took the form of a cow. Now in Bhagavatam, can you explain or tell me another instance where Mother Earth came as a cow? And before whom? Yeah. At the advent of Kali Yuga. And who was the king at that time? Maharaj Parikshit, right? So when Maharaj Parikshit became the king and he was traveling around the earth, he saw the cow, Mother Earth as a cow, and Dharma as a bull standing and discussing, right? So technically, she took the form of a cow then also, right? So here now, King Prithu Maharaj tries to punish Mother Earth rather, and she then asks for forgiveness and tells that as a king, you go and now start like you become extract everything from me, right? So Mother Earth took the form of a cow. So Prithu Maharaj had basically they bought a calf and they took all the herbs. They basically milked the cow through the calf and got all the herbs and the food grains and seeds and everything here, right? And that's how the next era started where all the food grains started coming again. So that is how King Prithu Maharaj basically reinstated the dharma of agriculture again. At the same time, the whole kingdom, whole earth was basically full of mountains. So he went around and leveled a lot of mountains and made like a lot of flat ground so that people can stay comfortably, etc. So these are some of the activities he did. Then he became a very, very strong ruler, and he ensured that he was like a lion. It's mentioned as he was like a lion, and he ensured that nobody would now plunder or there will be no rogues and all those things. So people were scared of him. At the same time, he was very, very compassionate towards the Brahmanas and other citizens, even if they were any caste, doesn't matter what caste they were, whether it's Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, he was compassionate towards all of them. He set up, ensured that everybody has proper source of income, etc. Right? So he established an ideal Varnashrama dharma, and he was an ideal ruler. Okay? And after all these things, then he decided to perform the Ashwamedha sacrifice. How many instances of Ashwamedha sacrifice do you know was performed? Any stories you remember? There is one in Bhagavatam, where Ashwamedha sacrifice is performed. There is one in Ramayana.
Yeah, Sri Ram performs Ashwamedha sacrifice.
Yes, Sri Ram.
After, during the time when by the time he already left the Sita
to the forest.
The forest, yeah.
And if you remember the story, Lava and Kush basically took away the horse and right? So similarly, Maharaja Prithu also wants to perform Ashwamedha sacrifice. So what is Ashwamedha sacrifice means? So it's a sacrifice where you sacrifice the horse. Okay. Now that would mean that we are doing animal killing, right? Technically speaking. So we'll see how Prabhupada explains what that means actually in that sense. But here he's not doing one Ashwamedha sacrifice. He's trying to do 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. So who is the only person who has done 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices? Indra. So if you do 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices, technically you can become Indra. I mean, it is not a mandatory condition, but you get that sort of pious thing, right? So here, I will read here. So now Maitreya is explaining to Vidura that King Prithu Maharaj initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavarta and was controlled by Swayambhu Manu. So who is Swayambhu Manu again? He is the forefather of Prithu Maharaj, technically speaking, right? I mean, after Brahma, Swayambhu Manu comes. So now Prithu Maharaj completed 99 sacrifices, right? So 99 is done. He is going to do the 100, and that's when all the masala starts. What happens, right? Now there are three characters in this mainly. One is Brahma, one is Prithu Maharaj, obviously, and third one is Indra. Why is Indra there in this chapter? What has Indra to do with this one?
Because Indra has, as you said, that Indra is the only one who has done hundreds of the Ashwamedha sacrifices, and if Prithu Maharaj completes the 100th one, then so Indra was basically envious that
yes, perfect.
He wanted to stop Prithu Maharaj from doing the 100th one.
So if you go to the second verse, it says that when the most powerful Indra, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Prithu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Because now, and think that for him, he's an earthly person. King Indra is a demigod, he's a king of heavens. To think that an earthly person is going to exceed him in fruitive activities is like a sort of envious for anybody, right? Because in general, if you look from a denizen's point of view, we are like lower creatures. I mean, in terms of our abilities or in terms of, also staying in earth has its advantages. And in Bhagavatam, you'll read that many of the demigods even want to be born in earth, because this is the only place where you can wipe out all your karma and go back to Godhead, right, from earth. All your pious and impious activities, you finish your karma and you can go back to Godhead by devotion. From a heavenly planet, it's difficult. So many of the denizens demigods want to be born in the earthly planets, but here in this case, Indra cannot tolerate that somebody like Prithu Maharaj, which is an ordinary human being, is going to surpass him. So he is now going to figure out what to do, right? So we got purport. In the material, can anyone read the purport here? Want to read the purport?
In the material world, everyone who comes to enjoy himself or lord it over material nature is envious of others. This envy is also found in the personality of the king of heaven, Indra. As evident from revealed scriptures, Indra was several times envious of many persons. He was especially envious of great fruitive activities and the execution of yoga practices or siddhis. Indeed, he could not tolerate them and he desired to break them up. He was envious due to fear that those who performed great sacrifices for the execution of mystic yoga might occupy his seat. Since no one in this material world can tolerate another's advancement, everyone in the material world is called Matsara, envious. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore said that Srimad Bhagavatam it is meant for those who are completely nirmatsara, non-envious. In other words, one who is not free from the contamination of envy cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels another person, the devotee who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in devotional service. Such non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. However, when one is envious of his competitor, that is material. The demigods posted in the material world are not exempt from envy.
Right? So, when we think, like when we say that in general, when we think of, like in general, Sanatana people say, we want to go to heavenly planets, right? We never want to go to hellish planets, we want to go to heavenly planets, right? But even in the heavenly planets, we have the same problems of enviousness, pride, jealousy, all those things, right? So, any other example where Indra was envious of anybody? Or anybody else should say?
When when Nand Maharaj and all the other Vrajavasis, they were going to do sacrifice for Indra, but Krishna says them to do for Govardhan, and then Indra gets angry.
Right? Indra gets angry and envious also, like, okay, how can they do that, right? So this, so the position, so again, so we'll learn that although Indra has shown multiple times, and if you read Bhagavatam, we'll see multiple times Indra has done the same thing, and that is, he has to do sometimes because that is his role. He has to protect his kingdom, right? Because there are a lot of asuras and everybody were trying to usurp the kingdom. Another case, like when Bali Maharaj was so pious and he took over the heavenly planets, he basically, again, they went to Vishnu and Vamana Avatar came and took away everything back. So you can see that Indra keeps on doing this thing and Vishnu will keep on helping him, because that is how, because he, at the end of the day, he is a protector of dharma, right? And we are a protector of dharma, it's like, okay, small mistakes here and there are allowed, right? So here again we see that he is going to be envious, he is going to do some mischief here. So when this yajna starts, the Supreme Lord Vishnu himself comes to the yajna, accompanied by other denizens like Nanda, Sunanda, Shiva, Brahma. A lot of people come to that arena, and he basically performs the sacrifice, right? And then we'll go to the verse. One second. So it's also mentioned that when the yajna was being performed, the whole land became like Kamadhenu. You know what is Kamadhenu, right? Kamadhenu is nothing but spiritual cow. The spiritual cow, if, like example, there are, in the spiritual world, there are cows like called Surabhi, right? And the purpose of this cow is you can get anything from them, right? So if you know the story of Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, King Vishwamitra was a king at that time, and he was not called Vishwamitra, he was, I forgot his name, but he was a king at that time, and once he came with his army to the ashram of Vasishtha sage, and who had a cow, and he was thinking, how will this, I mean, you asked the sage, okay, can you feed my people and all those things. So Vasishtha fed all these millions of soldiers with food, then he gave them places to stay, etc. And the king was very, very surprised, how are you doing it? Then he figured out, oh, there's a cow, and the cow can give anything. So in the heavenly planets, there are two things. One is the Kamadhenu cow, and the other is what is the tree called? Kalpavriksha tree. Kalpavriksha tree can also fulfill any of your desires, right? So if you go to India, if you go to Jagannath temple, there is a banyan tree, and they are calling this a Kalpavriksha tree, and people will go and tie threads and pray to that and all those things, right? So the same thing is here. So the whole earth became like a Kamadhenu, providing whatever is required. Like we wanted yagna, milk for Abhishek, ghee to make ghee we need milk, right? From milk we make yogurt, from yogurt we make ghee. Then we need fertilizers, flowers, fruits. All those things were being produced by the Mother Earth at that point in time, and everybody was like, it was overflowing, right? And at that time, Indra, and we go 1 second. Yeah, so now we go to verse number 11. So when Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, that is the 100th one, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice, and he did this because of great envy of King Prithu. The purport: King Indra is known as Shatakrata, which indicates that he has performed 100 horse sacrifices. We should know, however, that animals sacrificed in the yagna were not killed. If the Vedic mantras were properly pronounced during the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice would come out again with a new life. That is the test for a successful yagna. When King Prithu was performing 100 yagnas, Indra became very envious because he did not want anyone to excel him. Being an ordinary living entity, he became envious of King Prithu, and making himself invisible, he stole the horse and thus impeded the yagna performance. So 2 points. One is he didn't come and fight King Prithu Maharaj and steal the horse. So generally in the Ashwamedha sacrifice, what the logic is that the horse goes everywhere, and anyone who takes the horse basically is challenging the authority of that person, right? So technically what he should have done is he should have come and fought with Prithu Maharaj, but he didn't do that. What he did, he tried to steal the horse rather. If you go back to like Rama's story, right? Lava and Kush took the horse, right? And they basically challenged the entire army of Ayodhya in that way, right? They didn't run away with it and hid somewhere for some fun or something like that, right? So this is here, Indra is not doing a proper Kshatriya Dharma also, right? Second thing is, what as we discussed, these yagnas include killing of horses, right? So in the Vedic civilization, yagnas were performed where animals were sacrificed. But the Brahmanas were such qualified that what they should do is they should take the old animals, they were to sacrifice them, and then basically they will give them like new bodies, younger bodies, right? Now the young bodies could be the same category or it could be a different category because they are being used in sacrifice, right? So it was very, very common practice in those days. But over a period of time, the Vedic sacrifices became a sort of, what do you say? What do you call it? A sort of, what is the word called? As excuse for killing animals and eating those flesh and everything. So we will read that when Buddha came, basically tried to put a stop to this whole animal sacrifice and say that, okay, this whole concept of Vedic civilization is incorrect. He brought the concept of Shunyavad and all those things, right? Like don't study the Veda, stuff like that. And it was a prime and purpose for which it was done, right? So here now, this Vedic month, so although they were doing some yagnas, the Brahmanas were qualified enough to make them get a new body, right? So when King Indra was taking away, verse number 12, when King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, this dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. When Indra went into the outer space, in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. Purport: the word Pakanda used in this verse is sometimes pronounced Pashanda. Both of these words indicate an impostor who presents himself as a very religious person, but in actuality is very sinful. Indra took up the saffron-colored dress as a way of cheating others. This saffron dress has been misused by many impostors who present themselves as liberated persons or incarnations of God. In this way, people are cheated. As we have mentioned many times, the conditioned soul has a tendency to cheat. Therefore, this quality is also visible in a person like King Indra. It is understood that even King Indra is not liberated from the clutches of material contamination. Thus, the words amuktam eva, meaning as if he were liberated, are used. The saffron dress worn by a sannyasi announces to the world that he has renounced all worldly affairs and is simply engaged in the service of the Lord. Such a devotee is actually a sannyasi or liberated person. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1 it is said, Anashita karma phalam karyam karma karoti ya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. In other words, one who offers the results of his activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually a sannyasi and yogi. Cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prithu Maharaj's sacrifice. This cheating was very foolishly introduced by King Indra. In some ages, just such cheating is very prominent, and in other ages not so prominent. It is a duty of a sannyasi to be very cautious, because as stated by the Lord Chaitanya, sannyasira alpachidra sarvaloke gaya. A little spot in a sannyasi's character will be magnified by the public. Therefore, unless one is very sincere and serious, he should not take up the order of sannyasa. One should not use this order as a means to cheat the public. It is better not to take up sannyasa in the age of Kali, because provocations are very strong in this age. Only a very exalted person, advanced in spiritual understanding, should attempt to take up sannyasa. One should not adopt this order as a means of livelihood or for some material purpose. Now, why did Prabhupada make this very, very strong, long purport here? What was the intention behind him? Intention behind that? Any idea?
Trying to establish and preach. The intention is to basically, preach to the followers at that time that it was a young movement, and a lot of people were attracted to take sannyas. So he's trying to establish the qualities of a sannyasi here, that one should be very serious in practice before taking up such things.
That's one good thing. The second thing is, in India, especially, right, people are very, very pious. I mean, now people are going away from the piety. But in general, even for 40, 50 years back when Prabhupada was writing this purport, people were very pious. People used to respect sannyasis, right? Even if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I mean, one of the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas was that what he realized was that as he was preaching as a grihastha, people were not taking him seriously, right? So he thought that, okay, if I become a sannyasi, then people will hear my words more, my words will have more meaning, and people will take me seriously because they will respect me as a sannyasi, and then hear the words of wisdom and take up the path of Krishna consciousness. So at that point in time, people were very, very serious, like in the sense that, okay, if anybody comes in a saffron dress, then that means he is a sannyasi. But then that also leaves the option of people cheating these gullible persons and taking them for a ride. Like now, even if you look, there are a lot of sannyasis, they call themselves sannyasis, like they call them godmen, all right? But they will do all sorts of other activities, like they will be trying to accumulate wealth, prestige, power, etc., right? And people still worship them with faith, all right? Thinking that these are pious men. Why? Because we are always after the solution for our material problems. When we want a solution for our material problems, the first thing we try to do is, okay, oh, that Babaji is there, he has some mystic powers, he can solve my problem. I'll go and pray to him. I don't really think that, I don't have the knowledge to think that I have to go beyond this cycle of birth and then I should go for the true knowledge or true material resolution, right? So it's very difficult. I mean, I'm not even for us who are in this movement, who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for a long time, it's not very easy to overcome our material difficulties, all right? It's mentioned that, okay, we should basically accept whatever problems that come to us as a blessing, thinking that we should have got more, but Krishna is merciful that we are only getting so much less this thing. But is it not easy to do for all those things? There is one person who did that in Bhagavatam. Anybody? Any idea? Who prayed like that? That give me more miseries. Yeah, Queen Kunti. Yeah, Queen Kunti, right? So she says that I pray to you, Krishna, in the prayers of Queen Kunti, that give me more and more miseries. Because when I have more miseries, that means that I know that you will come before me and help me, so I can take your darshan. I mean, how many of us have that mood? How many of us want to pray like that? come and give me misery so that I can see Krishna. Why? We can pray like that. To pray like that, what is more required? That we need to have faith that Krishna will come and protect us. Sometimes we don't even have that faith. So we always try to protect ourselves. So we try to make all our own arrangements in this material world. Who was one person who tried to protect herself without taking shelter of Krishna? Draupadi. So when Draupadi was being disrobed, first she was trying to hold to her sari and trying to pray. She was trying to pray to Krishna, but she was also trying to protect herself. And when she figured out that she cannot do anything on her own, she gave up, raised her hands and prayed to Govind, and that time Krishna came and protected her, right? So similarly, this material world, yes, Krishna will come. There are a lot of devotees who have experienced that, right? Srila Prabhupada himself, there's a story, when the Juhu temple was being constructed, was supposed to be constructed, we bought the land, means ISKCON bought the land, and at that time, that person who basically sold the land tried to cheat Srila Prabhupada by trying to sell it to some other person, right? And there was something going to happen, a court case or something, and at that point in time, next day, the news came that that person died. Okay, and the devotees came and told Krishna to Prabhupada, that Mr. Nair is dead, our problem is solved. And Prabhupada said, yes, I know, I prayed to Lord Narasimhadev yesterday. Right, so you think, when that was the power of Srila Prabhupada, that he could, yes, even he has mentioned, I can see Narada, I can see Krishna, right? Now, when an advanced person says that, we can either trust it, or we can say, oh, he's just making up, and then we can just ignore it, right? But that was Prabhupada, the pure devotee can really talk to Krishna, can really understand that, right? So, similarly, what it is mentioned here is that just because somebody is wearing a saffron dress and walking doesn't make him he might be a sannyasi as a position, but doesn't make him a devotee in that sense, right? He might be renounced from these worldly affairs, but he might not be attached to Krishna, right? Because there are a lot of sannyasis. There are 4 types of paths, right? One is karma, jnana, dhyana, and bhakti. The purpose of karma, dhyana, and jnana is to culminate into bhakti. If you are not getting into bhakti, you are still proud, you are trying to basically glorify yourself, right? So end of the day, any saintly person, if he doesn't go into the path of bhakti or basically guide the people onto the path of bhakti, then he should not be followed, right? And I was today reading one of the verses of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, from the Art of Chanting, and he mentions that we should be following, even in the followers also, we should try to follow the Rupanuga Acharya. Because even in Gaudiya Vaishnava, we might say, oh, I'm ISKCON, I'm a Gaudiya follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but there are hundreds of groups that are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some are genuine, some are not genuine. Some just basically try to imitate Mahaprabhu's mood of being a devotee or saying that I am Mahaprabhu or whatever it is. So there are people who are not really following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood and mission. So we should, even in our movement also, we should see that who is a real sannyasi, who is really practicing the path of bhakti and this thing. The example, if you take the example of Gopal Krishna Maharaj or Jayapataka Maharaj, right? Jayapataka Maharaj, who knows Jayapataka Maharaj? Have you heard of him? Right? 2007, he was in San Francisco, we met him, he was like a very hefty sannyasi. 2008, he got a brain aneurysm. He is now 17 years approximately. In spite of getting that in a condition where he cannot even walk, he cannot do any of his activities without the support of any of his assistants, he still goes and preaches strongly. The reason being that he has that mode. So when you see a person like that in a saffron dress, you know that this is the right person that you should follow. Right? And then meanwhile, there will be, like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a story when Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are going to, I think they're going to Shantipur. On the way, they come to ashram, and there's a sage. He says, a saintly person, sannyasi. He says, "Oh, please come and have prasadam in my house." So they go. Obviously, they say, "Oh, this is a sannyasi. You should go there." And when he goes there, the lady comes and starts serving them food, and they ask them, "Who is this lady?" She said, "She's my wife." Right? So he was dressed as a sannyasi, but he was still indulged in all the material things. So that is one of the things when Prabhupada made his purport. It's like, okay, it's instruction for us is don't blindly follow just because somebody is in saffron. Ensure that he is a great follower of Dharma and a proper devotee of Krishna. Right? So we'll go further. So we want to read? Next one, 13.
Text 13 translation. When the son of King Prithu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait," purport. The words "Tishta, Tishta" are used by a Kshatriya when he challenges his enemy. When fighting, a Kshatriya cannot flee from the battlefield. However, when a Kshatriya is out of cowardice, flees from the battlefield, showing his back to his enemy, he is challenged with the words "Tishta, Tishta." A real Kshatriya does not kill his enemy from behind, nor does a real Kshatriya turn his back on the battlefield. According to Kshatriya principle, the spirit, one either attains victory or dies on the battlefield. Although King Indra was very exalted, being the king of heaven, he became degraded due to his stealing the horse intended for the sacrifice. Therefore, he fled without observing the Kshatriya principles, and the son of Prithu had to challenge him with the words "Tishta, Tishta."
Okay. So two things. So who is Sejatri? Anybody knows? It's in Bhagavatam. Sorry, Sejatri is mentioned in Bhagavatam. He is the father of? Huh? Yeah, Dattatreya. Right? So Dattatreya, Dhruva Samuni and moon god, technically speaking. His wife's name is Anusuya. Okay, she is one of the most respected personalities in terms of feminine characters. So Atri Muni was performing sacrifice, and he says to son of King Prithu that go and capture King Indra. Now it's mentioned here that King Indra didn't follow the rules of a Kshatriya and he ran away from the battlefield. Which other great personality did that? There is one great personality who did that. He ran away from the battlefield when he was being challenged there. Yeah? Yeah, Krishna. So Krishna, when he was fighting, whom? Kalanemi. What is it? Kaliyavan, yeah. When he was fighting Kaliyavan, he started running away. And that's why he got his name, Ranchod. So here Prabhupada is saying that any person who flees from the battlefield without getting killed or killing other person is basically a coward. And here we have Krishna who is running away from the battlefield and we glorify him as Ranchod. Why? People even, like if you go to Rajasthan and everything, people will name their kids Ranchod. Because that is how they glorify. Because Rajasthan is a place where it's a place of kings, right? Rajputs. So they even put the name of kids as Ranchod there. They glorify Krishna as somebody leaving away from the battlefield. Right? Because whatever Krishna does is like a pastime. If he steals, we glorify that. If he runs away from the battlefield, we glorify that. If he takes the dress of gopis, we glorify that. Because Krishna's activities are spiritual. Just think, like if you go to a neighbor's house and steal some water from him or something from him, it will be glorified or will be kicked out and put in jail. Right? If you go and steal some woman's dress, they will put it as a, what is it called? Predator or like all those things, and they will blacklist us for forever, right? If you run away from the, if today's world, if like you are a military person and you run away from the field, basically you'll get a black marshal, court martial or whatever they call it, right? So all those things happen. But whatever Krishna performs, technically it's spiritual activity, we glorify that, right? So there is a song, because this movies comes, right? There is a song that says, when Krishna dances with gopis, it's glorified, but when I dance with girls, I'm condemned, right? The thing is, we try to imitate the Lord, thinking that whatever he does, we can also do it. And Prabhupada always mentions, if you want to imitate Lord, first go and lift Govardhan, then we can think about other things, right? Fight the demons on your own, like he killed so many big demons when he was a small child, right? He lifted Govardhan when he was 6, 7 years old, right? He defeated, like when he was 10 or 12, he defeated wrestlers like Chanura, the Kola Pida, elephant, etc. So we can hear from the pastimes. It's said that we should follow on the footsteps of Mahajans. Krishna technically is the greatest Mahajan, we should follow on the footsteps, but we should not imitate. There's a difference between following and imitating, right? Even in our spiritual life, we cannot imitate a lot of devotees. Example, say there is a saint sannyasi from a movement who comes and he has given up everything. We say, oh, I will also give up everything and become like him. Not possible, because maybe we are in a state where we are in a grahastha ashram or something. We cannot just leave everything and go. We have to really think whether it's correct or not. So we should not just imitate, but we should follow, but with our intelligence, right? So go to 14. King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such a dress, the son of King Prithu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi, therefore did not release his arrows. So again, as I said, a king is not supposed to kill a brahmana, a woman, an old person, a child, and I think cow. The fifth one I think is a cow. So in this case, he was like a religious person. So at that time, a brahmana was considered a religious person, so he was basically a sannyasi. He was dressed as a religious man. So then he didn't shoot his arrows and he came back. So that was the culture of King Prithu Maharaj's son. So when Atri Muni, next 15, when Atri Muni saw that son of King Prithu did not kill Indra, but returned, deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king, because he thought that Indra had become the lowliest of all demigods due to his impending the execution of King Prithu's sacrifice. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in a great haste. He was very angry with him, and he chased him just as the king of vultures chased Ravana. Who is the king of vultures? Who was the king of vultures who chased Ravana? Jatayu or Sampati? Jatayu. What did Jatayu do?
Jatayu tried to stop Ravana from stealing,
kidnapping Sita. Right. Similarly, here now King Prithu Maharaj's son runs after Indra to prove that. When text 17, when Indra saw that son of King Prithu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from the very spot, and the great hero, the son of Maharaja Prithu, returned the horse to the father's sacrificial arena. My dear Lord Vidura, when the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Prithu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijitasava. So who else defeated Indra in their battles? There are a lot of people who defeated Indra. Indrajit, his name himself is Indrajit. Anybody else we know? Bali Maharaj. He also defeated, in the battle he defeated Indra and basically took over took over all the planets, right? So there are a lot of, you'll hear like Hiranyakashipu was ruling at that time. He basically drove away, it's mentioned that he drove away all the demigods from their palaces, right? So there are a lot of demons who defeated Indra, but they were never glorified as Vijitasava, like somebody who defeated Indra in a way. Although Ravana's son Indrajit is called that way, but he was never glorified. But here the sages are glorifying that, oh, you have now defeated Indra and you are called Vijitasava, right? Text 19. My dear Vidura, Indra, being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where animals were sacrificed. Now, what would a normal person do? Let's say you go to steal something for whatever reason. You are caught and you run away from there. What would be your next reaction? Not to repeat, run away, hide, right? Hide from the authorities, stuff like that. You will not go and try to steal again. But here Indra is coming back immediately. Okay, he did a mistake again, but he thinking, okay, let me try again. So now he is coming back, right? So the great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky, and the great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. So again, although now he knows that this is not a sannyasi, this is Indra in the form of a sannyasi, he still is not killing him. So this is now the character of Prithu Maharaj's son. Right? Now he is showing his character. Like, okay, I mean, I know this person is stealing, but I have some rules and regulations that I follow. There is some ethics or codes that I abide by. I am not going to go against that ethics. Right? Now, Rama also had an ethic. That was, he will never kill a woman. Did he follow that ethic or did he not follow it?
The first one he killed was a woman.
That's the first person he ever killed was a woman. Who was it? Tataka demon. So he said to Vishwamitra Muni that I will not, she's a woman, I will not kill her. And Vishwamitra convinced him, no, don't worry. She is a demoness, so you will not get the curse of killing a woman. So Prithu Maharaj also, when I've explained the story briefly, when he was chasing Mother Earth rather, in the form of a cow, Mother Earth says that, oh, you should not kill a woman. And Prithu Maharaj says, it's okay, if I have to protect the rights of the citizens, right? If I have to ensure that their problems are resolved, if I have to kill a woman, then so be it, I will kill it, because that is my dharma, to protect the citizens of my country. And to protect the citizens, I can go against the dharma. In that sense. And in this case, dharma was not to kill a woman, right? So here also, technically speaking, he could have chose to kill the son Indra, but he didn't do it because he didn't find it meaningful to do at that point in time, right? So when the great sage Atri gave direction, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi and, giving up the horse, made himself invisible. So again did the same thing. Okay, gave up the horse and became invisible and ran away. And he does this again and again multiple times. Right? So the first time he came as a sannyasi dressed with ashes. Second time he came with a skull. Right? So basically, if you think from the descriptions given, he's coming as a tantric. He's not coming as a devotee sage. He's coming as a tantric mode. Right? So all those, like, so if you go to India, there are a lot of groups that follow in this tantric vidya and sannyasi, all those things. So all those came from this Indra's activities, right? Anybody wants to read 22? Some Mataji wants to read 22?
Translation. Then the great hero Vijitasva, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this.
Purport, want to read?
Purport. Since time immemorial, the sannyas order has carried the Tridanda. Later, Sankaracharya introduced the Ekadandi sannyas. A Tridandi sannyas is a Vaishnav sannyasi, and an Ekadandi sannyasi is a Mayavadi sannyasi. There are many other types of sannyasis who are not approved by Vedic rituals. A type of pseudo-sannyas was introduced by Indra when he tried to hide himself from the attack of Vijitasva, the great son of King Prithu. Now there are many different types of sannyasis. Some of them go naked and some of them carry a skull and trident, generally known as Kapalika. All of them were introduced under some meaningless circumstances, and those who have a poor fund of knowledge accept these false sannyasis and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide guides to spiritual advancement. At the present moment, some missionary institutions, without referring to the Vedic rituals, have introduced some sannyasis who engage in sinful activities. The sinful activities forbidden by the Shastra are illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. These so-called sannyasis indulge in all these activities. They eat meat and flesh, fish, eggs, and just about everything. They sometimes drink with the excuse that without alcohol, fish, and meat, it is impossible to remain in the cold countries near the Arctic zone. These sannyasis introduce all these sinful activities in the name of serving the poor, and consequently poor animals are cut to pieces and go into the bellies of these sannyasis. As described in the following verses, such sannyasis are pakhandis. Vedic literature states that a person who puts Lord Narayana on the level with Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma immediately becomes a pakhandi. As stated in the Puranas, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradidevatai Samatve Naiva Viksheta Sapasandi Bhavet Dhruvam. In Kali Yuga, the Pakhandis are very prominent. However, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tried to kill all these Pakhandis by introducing his Sankirtan movement. Those who take advantage of this Sankirtan movement of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness will be able to save themselves from the influence of these Pakhandis.
So, as we discussed earlier, that Indra introduced many other false concepts. Like I went to Kumbh Mela, but I didn't really see all the sadhas, but there are a lot of Naga Babas sitting there, right? They're very considered mystic yogis, and some are mystic yogis, some are like just they're trying to make money, right? And there are a lot of, and if you read the Journey Home book by Radhanath Swami, you can see that when he was traveling through Himalayas, he found so many mystic yogis there, right? So there are a lot of mystic yogis. Some use that as their source to meditate on the Paramatma or follow the path of Jnana, whatever it is. Some try to use their mystic yogis to trick the people and get wealth and prestige and fame and all those things, right? So it's up to the people whom they want to believe. That's why Prabhupada has said that he has given this Sankirtana movement for us, which is coming in the lineage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and following the Gaudiya Sampradaya, where we know that what is our right path in life. The right path in life is to achieve. What do we need to achieve? Krishna Prem, right? To achieve Krishna Prem, we need to follow the rules and regulations of some Sampradaya. So Prabhupada has given that rules for us, right? So when Prabhupada came to US, there were other people also there, right? There were other people who were sannyasis. There was Paramahamsa Yogananda, there was Osho. Everybody has their own philosophy, right? And everybody follows what they like. If somebody tells me that you come to my group and you are not the body, so you can do whatever you want with your body. And one group says you come to the body, but you have to refrain from illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, do this, stop this, do this. What would a person who wants to enjoy would do? He will follow the group that says, oh, do whatever you want. But a person who is serious, who understands that, okay, I cannot do whatever I want, because if I do whatever I want, then I'm getting more entangled in this material world. I want to get out of that. Then you would follow the path that follows the rules and regulations. And that's why we have universities, that's why we have schools, right? If you fall sick, right, and you want to go to a doctor, let's say if you want to get some surgery done, not some normal sickness, you want to get some surgery done, and you want to go to a doctor, what would you go and check? What would be your first thing to check? What would you see? Whether it's a pure good doctor, real doctor, whether he comes from a reputable institute, or whether he's working in a reputable hospital. All right. If somebody comes and says, "Oh, I just Googled everything. I have learned everything on my own because I know everything. Come, I will do surgery for you." Would you go to him? No. Why? But that is what we do in the material world. We don't want to follow the rules and regulations. We want to do whatever we want because somebody says, "Oh, you just enjoy the material life. When you become old, you can do spiritual progress. At that time, you can follow all the rules and regulations, but now you enjoy your life." Right? Even if you look at Christianity in general, what is the you be a good person, you enjoy materially, you give some donation to the temple, come to Sunday and confess your sins, and repeat the cycle. That is generally what normal people follow. Okay, why Christianity? What do Hindus do? We go to temple, we'll go to some Vishnu temple, Shiva temple, whatever, Ganesh temple. We'll do some archana, we'll do some arti, we'll take arti, have some prasadam, come back, repeat the cycle. Right? So if we go through that cycle, is it good? Yes, you are pious. You'll get the benefits of doing that in a way. But that will not take us out of the cycle of birth and death. We'll get more entangled. So in Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter it's mentioned that whatever pious activities we gain, right, we have to reap the benefits of those pious activities. So let's say that you are a very good, great person, you are a very good person, you are following all rules, you are doing a lot of charity, but you are not Krishna conscious. A lot of people are there like that, right, to serve humanity in general. They will do charity. And you do charity because you have a lot of wealth, you have a lot of maybe strength, you do all those activities. You gain a lot of pious credit. You take this pious credit, the best you can get is go back to heavenly planets. You go to heavenly planets, you might even become Indra, you might become whatever great demigod personality. You enjoy there. Once the enjoyment is complete for so millions of years, you come back to the earthly planet to go through the cycle of birth and death. Or maybe you are somebody, a cruel person, you will go to hellish planets. You basically get suffering for all those bad things you have done. You finish your sufferings, you come back to earthly planets. Cycle repeats. And you might come as a human being, you might come as a plant, you might come as an animal, we don't know what you will become, right? So you go through the 8.4 million species of life because we are following trust to this thing. So that is why Prabhupada says, one who wants to take advantage of this human life and also wants to take advantage of the association of great devotees should follow this Sankirtan movement. Because only by following the Sankirtan movement, and there are a lot of pious Sankirtan movement, like there are 4 bona fide sampradayas, right? You can follow any of them if we are all lucky to be assembled in this ISKCON, associated with Srila Prabhupada's movement, right? So we are going to follow that. But there are other people who follow Sri Sampradaya, who follow Brahma Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, right? Other Sampradayas. So they follow that. But end of the day, even if you are in ISKCON, even if we are in this movement, if we don't know that we have to dedicate our life, or not dedicate, I would say dovetail our life into Krishna consciousness, then we are just walking on the periphery. We are not really going in. So whatever we are doing is not going to get lost, but we are not gaining that complete advantage of what we will get. Right? So you should try to follow Krishna's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement as given by Srila Prabhupada. 23. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of atheistic philosophy. According to Vedic civilization, sannyasa is one of the essential items in the program of varnashrama initiation. One should accept sannyasa according to the parampara system of acharyas. At the present moment, however, many so-called sannyasis or mendicants have no understanding of God consciousness. Such sannyasa was introduced by Indra because of his jealousy of Maharaja Prithu, and what he introduced is again appearing in the age of Kali. Practically, none of the sannyasis in this age are bona fide. No one can introduce any new system in this Vedic way of life. If one does so out of malice, he is to be known as Pashandi or atheist. In the Vaishnava Tantra, it is said, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devata Samata. Oh, we already did this, right? Sorry, I should do 24-25. In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from Prithu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyasa. But this also we did. No, did we do this? No, okay, this is. No, we didn't do this, okay. These are simply. Did you do 24-25 also? No, 24-25. Okay, these are so-called sannyasis. Okay, let me read again. Some sannyasis go naked, sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. These are simply symbolic representations of their sinful activities. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless atheists and very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their cause. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious, and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. So the only reason we get attracted to charlatans like this is because we want quick resolutions to our problems, right? If somebody says, oh, you have a problem, and somebody comes and says to you, why don't you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you basically will get over the problem. You'll say, will it resolve immediately, right? Like if you are falling sick, you don't chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and say, okay, my fever will go away. You take Tylenol quickly. to reduce the fever. But in the material life, for material problems, that doesn't work. I mean, if you try to go for quick resolution, sometimes you need quick resolutions, but if you do always for quick resolutions, you lose the main focus of life. So basically, it's important that we know what is the right path, right? So similarly, now at this point, Maharaja Pritha himself becomes very, very angry because now he has done it multiple times, right? First 2 times his son went and he keeps on doing it again and again. So Maharaja Prithu himself now tries to take his bow and arrow and kill Indra. At that time, all the sages basically say, no, don't do this. You will pollute this sacrifice if you kill Indra here. You should not. This sacrifice is meant only for killing the horse at this point in time, but you should not kill any other thing. Now give me 2 instances from Bhagavatam where in the sacrificial arena somebody else was killed who are not meant to be killed there. There are 2 instances mentioned in Bhagavatam. There could be more, but I remember 2. One is Daksha was killed in the sacrifice. Second, you have to think, come down to Krishna Leela. Who was the person who cursed Krishna 1,000 times? Shishupal. So when the Rajasuya Yajna was happening, at that time, Krishna killed Shishupal in the sacrifice arena. Right? So you have 2 instances of that case, and even with Daksha Maharaj's time, when the Daksha was killed, the Brahmana says, that the sacrifice arena is impure, then Brahma comes and helps, tells, okay, now purify this and do all those things and do that, right? And when Shishupal was killed, not a single drop of blood fell on the ground. Krishna killed him very efficiently, actually. All right. So similar things happen. So now their sages are saying, don't do it. We will, by our power of mantras, get Indra and put him in the fire and kill him. Now give me another instance where sages killed a king. Who have paid attention to the lecture will know it. King Vena. Right? So same thing, we talked about 1 hour back, that when King Vena was very cruel, the sages basically killed him. So now they're saying, okay, you don't do it. We will now basically get Indra here and kill him. Right? And they start reciting the mantras, and Indra is now about to get killed in the fire. At that time, who comes there? Brahma comes. Right? So now Brahma comes, and let's go to verse number 30. Lord Brahma addressed them saying, my dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the Personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna, but you should know that all these demigods are but part and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in this great sacrifice? 31. In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Prithu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that in the future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performance for Maharaja Prithu, Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaja Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices? Alright? Lord Brahma continued, let there be good fortune for both of you. For you and King Indra are both part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is non-different from you. My dear King, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Lord Brahma continued, 35. Stop the performance of sacrifices, for they have induced Indra to introduce so many irreligious aspects. You should know very well that even amongst demigods, there are many unwanted desires. So basically now Brahma is saying again that whatever Indra has done is fine, But you also don't go on the same path, right? You stop the sacrifice at 99 and be happy because Vishnu is pleased with you and you're a liberated person. You know what is right and what is wrong, so don't go on the wrong path. Now, how many of you would be happy with 99? Now, there's something called as the curse of 99, you know, right? So there's a small story. There's a person who was a poor guy, very satisfied. Okay, I mean, he was living a modest life, happy, living simply, taking care of his family, etc. So the king was passing there, this minister, and he saw this person seems so happy. He has nothing, and he seems so happy. And I have everything here, and I'm still not happy. What is the trick? So the minister says, see, this person is very simple. He doesn't have anything, he's happy. But if you want to see miserable, I'll tell you a formula. He leaves leave a bag of gold coins at his house and see what happens to him. But leave 99 gold coins. So the king leaves 99 gold coins. Next day, the poor person sees, he says, wow, I have 99 gold coins. He counts the coins. He says, oh, gold coins. He counts the coins. He says, 99 coins. He's very happy. But he thinks, but who would leave 99 coins? There should have been 100. He counts again. So 99. Now, what would you do if you have like 99 lakh rupees or 99 crore, $99 million? What would you do? You would be happy, right? But these things, oh, let me make it a round number. So now he starts working hard, struggling hard to get that extra one gold coin. And now, because he's doing all these things, he makes his life miserable. So after some days, when the king passes, he says, this person is no longer happy, very miserable. He asks the person, what happened? He said, oh, somebody left 99 gold coins. I'm just trying to get that extra gold coin. I'm working hard and I'm not able to make it because I have to do so much work to get one gold coin. My life is so miserable now. So the point is, when you're trying to achieve that round number, right, or the next step, sometimes we lose the purpose of our life. The purpose of our life is not to achieve milestones always. Yes, goals are important, right? Like we do goals for books and Sankirtan, we have goals, we always surpass the goals because there is to be some direction for our life. But if we get obsessed with the goals and forget the journey, then you will basically miss out on the life, right? So even our spiritual life, when we chant 16 rounds is our goal. But I can do 16 rounds multiple ways. I can sleep and chant, right? There's a joke that somebody says, okay, why don't you chant 16 rounds? He said, okay, I'll chant. He says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, do. You know what is do? Anybody in India, you say do means repeat. 16 rounds over. So that is not the way we do 16 rounds, right? Or we can sleep and chant, we can walk and chant. But then you are doing the goal, you are achieving the numbers. And sometimes we have to do that because we have a busy life. But if we lose focus of why I am chanting the 16 rounds and whether I am following this process or not properly, then you will know whether you are on the right path, right? Similarly, Brahma is saying, okay, 100 sacrifices you have to do because that's the vidhi given in the Shastras. But why are you doing it? Why is he doing the sacrifice? To please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And if Supreme Lord Vishnu is happy with his 99 sacrifices, or even if he's happy with one sacrifice, then he doesn't need to do 100 sacrifices, right? So the point is, when we do these sacrifices, we need to know why we are doing it. And if we know any activity for that matter, right? If we know why we are doing it, and if we dovetail saying that if I can please the Supreme Lord Krishna, if I'm mopping this floor, and I'm doing it, like I do this all the time, like I'll try to rearrange, mop the floor, etc. Because I think that Krishna if something is fallen, I'll try to broom it because I think Krishna is seeing that, right? Then if this is a Vaikuntha, Prabhupada says all our temples are Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan in the earthly planet. So we should try to keep that clean. We should try to ensure that Krishna can enjoy that environment. The visitors who are coming can enjoy the environment, right? So if you have that mood that whenever you are doing a service, if you think that there is a primary purpose is to please Krishna, then you will never be disappointed with that. If you think that we are doing it because somebody told me, oh, now I have to do this, then you will always be miserable. Or you're trying to chase some goal, oh, I have to do this one, then you will be miserable, right? So what is Brahma's instruction is, okay, you're doing this, be happy that you have 99 and be satisfied with that. Now what did Indra do? What did Prithu Maharaj do? Did he fight against Brahma? Right, somebody comes and says to you, why are you fighting for this promotion in the office? Just be happy with being a simple menial servant. Why do you want to do this? Would you be happy with that instruction if you're working? No. In the corporate world, we have to be the totally opposite thing, right? We are expected to be selfish. We are expected to basically go and fight for our roles and do all these things. Once I was giving interview and I was in the interview saying we and says, no, you should say I. And in Krishna consciousness, we are saying we should never say I. We should always say we. So it's like conflict of interest in material and spiritual life, right? What here Prithu Maharaj says that, yes, I will follow your instructions, then I will not, because we are giving instruction, I will no longer perform the 100 sacrifice, right? And by his, so basically he accepts what Brahma says, and following Brahma's instructions, he takes it with humility, and then he basically stops the yajna. And at that point in time, Lord Vishnu himself comes again. So he came initially when the sacrifice was starting, then he went away. Now he again comes back and is very happy with what Prithu Maharaj is doing. And then he basically glorifies Prithu Maharaj, and then Prithu Maharaj glorifies Krishna and all those things, right? So from this chapter, we take the three characters as we mentioned, right? So what I did was I put this chapter in ChatGPT. Actually, ChatGPT is very good in getting inferences. It does. I mean, I don't know who all are part of Sadhu Sangha group, and so basically, Govind Charan Prabhu put like, okay, can you give the mood of His Holiness Radhanath Swami and His Holiness Indranand Maharaj? What is the difference between them? And if you read that ChatGPT, it basically exactly put their moods in a way. Like one person is like sort of a yogi, like one person like very reserved and focused on it. Other person is like extrovert, going around preaching, doing kirtans. It basically collects data from the internet, but it can collect it. So I did that, right? So I did what is the key realization here, right? So Indra, the king of heaven, becomes envious of King Prithu's success in performing horse sacrifices. To disrupt Prithu's final sacrifice, Indra resorts to deceit by stealing the horse and disguising himself as a renunciant, thereby introducing false religious practices. This act sets a dangerous precedent as it blurs the lines between a true and false religion, potentially misleading future generations. So even for us, in our family life, when we are trying to do some activity, sometimes what we'll do is we'll tell I know, like a lot of families, parents are there, they will send children to, oh, you go and read Bhagavad Gita class, you go and attend this Bhagavatam class, like outside for kids, right? We have kids classes. You go and attend that. And the parents would basically stand outside, talk, and then pick the kids and go away. Now, when you are not interested, how will the kids get interested, right? So we also always have to set an exemplary role model for our kids, saying that, okay, if you are, or even if you're preaching to somebody, we go to book distribution, and we say, read Bhagavad Gita. But we ourselves don't read Bhagavad Gita. What is the impact that person will have? But if somebody who is really reading Bhagavad Gita has imbibed that knowledge and is going with that mood to give that mercy to others, that our consciousness will also transfer to that person and he will basically benefit from that. So that's why I said, like, it's not always the goal, but also the process that is important, like how we have imbibed that process. So if I'm sitting here and giving Bhagavatam class and talking on this, but if I'm not following it, the effect that will have on you is going to be minimal. So I also need to learn that I need to imbibe these qualities so that I can preach better, all right? The other person is Brahma. Recognizing the potential for widespread confusion and the propagation of religious practices due to Indra's actions, Lord Brahma intervenes to pacify the situation. He advises King Prithu to cease the final sacrifice, emphasizing that Prithu's devotion has already pleased the Supreme Lord and that further conflict would only exacerbate the spread of adharma. So here basically now he is acting as a mediator, right? He did the same thing during the yajna, in Daksha's yajna. He has done, but he is also the person who tried to steal the calves and the cowherd boys to test Krishna, right? Sometimes Brahma also does a mistake. But so in different things, people do differently. But here Brahma is placing this role of a wise sage, wise counsel. And King Prithu, an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, is portrayed as a paragon of devotion and righteousness. Despite his divine origin, Prithu remains humble and devoted, exemplifying the ideal qualities of a king who rules in accordance with dharma. His commitment to righteousness is further demonstrated when he becomes indignant at Indra's deceitful actions, yet he is willing to heed Lord Brahma's counsel to the main cosmic order. So here now, Indra also, King Prithvi, although he wants to perform the sacrifices, at this point in time he heeds Brahma's advice and stops the sacrifices. Tell me, before we conclude, tell me one person or one king who was dharmic, yet he broke his dharmic principle to please somebody because he had to follow the instruction. Yeah.
King Janak.
King Janak didn't break any principles.
Didn't.
You can come closer to Dwapar Yuga. So who is known as a dharmic king in Dwapar Yuga?
King Parikshit?
No. His grandfather. Maharaj Yudhishthir.
Yudhishthir Maharaj.
Yudhishthir Maharaj. See, we have Akashvani also. Yudhishthir Maharaj was considered a very, very pious king, follower Dharma, because he was basically none other than Dharmaraj himself in his incarnation, right? What was his rule? He will never lie. But he broke this principle once in his life. When?
To kill Ashwadhama Prabhu.
Yeah. So when Dronacharya was fighting fiercely, at that point in time they figured out that Dronacharya is not going to stop. So Bhima went and killed an elephant called Ashwadhama, right? And started shouting loudly, Ashwadhama is killed, Ashwadhama is killed. All right? At that time Krishna says to him that, okay, if Drona comes to you, tell him that Ashwadhama is killed. But Yudhishthira didn't want to lie. So when Drona comes to ask him, he said yes, but he speaks very, very slowly. He says, Ashwadhama, yes, the elephant. Like the elephant, he speaks very smallly. But so although he didn't lie completely, but he lies in that way. So that is one time he broke the rule. And it's mentioned that his chariot also used to be 2 inches above the ground. And at that point in time, his chariot touched the ground. And there are 2 stories for that. One story, the materialistic story says that because he lied, and he was a true person who never lied, because he lied at that time, it touched the ground. But the reverse, which is like from a Bhagavatam angle, is that because he didn't follow the instructions of Krishna wholeheartedly, his chariot touched the ground. So here Krishna is instructing him to lie, then we should lie. If Krishna is asking us to, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that fight. So what are we fighting? But doesn't mean we go and start fighting in the India-Pakistan war, right? We will fight. What do we fight? We fight against Maya, we fight against our anarthas, etc. So technically we have to follow Krishna's instructions, and that is the whole sum and purpose of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Okay. Any last points anybody wants to share? Sorry, we are a little bit over, but anyway, there is no kids presentation, so we can go 5-10 minutes. If anybody wants to share any realization or anything for next 5 minutes, we can do that. Anybody online audience?
Thank you, Prabhu, for nice class. You took us through the Maharaj Prithu's qualities here, and so many great aspects of his character. And he came in and established, agricultural again, as you mentioned in the earlier part of the class. And then he also established fellowship as a quality, that when Lord Brahma told him that you stop at 99 sacrifices, though he was committed to do 100, but then he follows the instruction, and you kept the session very interactive, Prabhu. That's very good. So it's a challenge for people who are listening. Okay, go have to find out answers, which is nice. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, anybody else? Okay, then thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Huh? It's still going on, yeah. Okay, I'll stop it. Yeah, Hare Krishna, we thank Hari Sankirtan Prabhu for for bringing us the Meg Japa Great again, initially to start with, and then Srimad Bhagavatam class. Please give me a big hand. So next will be Prashad. In just a few minutes, Prashadam will be served. But we can do a small Kirtan, Prabhu.
But I mean, for all cricket lovers, no, the most painful 100 was Sachin Tendulkar's 100 centuries. At that time, we were like, oh, when will he get this 100 and retire? I wanted to bring that, but it's like, okay. But that's the main thing is that 100, sometimes we try to follow it, and we basically get lost actually in that pursuit of milestones. So just wanted to bring that. Thank you very much. We'll do a small Kirtan.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. बोलिए Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, बोलिए भाई, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare बोले भाई Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare बोले गाइए Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Lord Premanand, Hari Om.